Maladjusted Misfits.
Adam, come on. We're going to record.
I'll do it from here.
You can't. Get out of your recliner and get over here.
I'm Adam.
Adam, come on. Let's go.
And we're the Maladjusted Misfits.
Oh, my God. I'm Joe, and this is the one where we talk about friends.
I'll be there in a sec. Hello.
Thank you for getting out of your recliner.
Whatever.
I don't like recliners.
What?
I like recliners that don't look like recliners.
Right. You don't like the Barca Loungers?
No. My dad has had a Barca Lounger since I can remember. And they're always big, like really big.
Yeah, his?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he wants the dog to be able to sit with him.
It's like half him and half the dog.
Yeah.
How are you this week?
I'm doing much better. How are you?
Yeah, me too. Doing well. Nothing exciting happened this week.
No,
that I can recall.
we were busy, but
Yeah.
just the standard.
Yeah.
Standard usual.
Standard usual week.
How about you guys out there? They say standard usual too. I'm just going to start talking with the people as they're listening. What do you think?
Enjoyed having a special guest last week. That was fun.
Yes, thank
Yes.
you, Michael M.
Yep, that was fun. Come on, Misfits. Send us some email and we'll have more guests on. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's fun when we get other people's opinions and
yeah.
views and why they watch the show. It's fun.
All right, so this week we are doing...
The one where Ross and Rachel, ellipses, you know.
Ooh. What is our IMDb plot?
Monica becomes infatuated with a friend of her parents when she caters a party for him. Ross and Rachel go on their first date. Joey and Chandler refuse to move when they get a new TV and 2 armchairs. Armchairs. What other words? So recliner, armchairs, Barca Loungers.
Yeah. I don't think of those as armchairs, though. All right, our episode director is Michael Lembeck.
Yeah, he directed most of season 2, right?
I know, he did. He's our returning director. He did the one after the Super Bowl, which won an award.
Right.
And he directs this episode and the rest of the episodes through end of season 2.
So I was right. The majority of season 2.
Yep, episodes 15 through 24. He'll be our director.
Yeah, there's some good episodes in there.
Yeah, I'll try and find some trivia for every time. But he also directed a TV show called Baby Daddy.
Baby Daddy?
Yeah, it ran from 2012 to 2017. But you have to hear this premise. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
Ben becomes a surprise dad to a baby girl when she's left on his doorstep by an ex-girlfriend. Ben decides to raise the baby with the help of his mother, his brother Danny, his friend Tucker, and Riley, the girl who harbors a secret crush on him.
Wow.
That sounds like...
Are you allowed to do that? Just if somebody leaves a baby on your porch, are you allowed to just be like, sure, I'll raise it. Why not?
It's his ex-girlfriend. It might be his baby. Who knows?
I know, but it seems like, you need the paperwork. You know,
The paperwork.
You need the birth
DNA,
certificate.
Yeah. All right. Our episode writer is Michael Curtis and Greg Mallins. So Michael Curtis wrote a total of 7 episodes of Friends.
Aw.
Was story editor and teleplay credits and a couple others.
Okay.
Mr. Heckles Dies and our upcoming favorite of ours. I won't spoil which one, but it's one of our favorites.
Okay.
He also wrote 12 episodes of a sitcom starring Tobey Maguire.
Really?
Yeah, back in 1992 called Great Scott.
It was based on the Doc Brown young years.
So when I was looking it up, you remember the cover or the poster for Uncle Buck, right?
Right.
Where the family's all on one side and Uncle Buck's on the other.
Right.
It's the exact same thing. Tobey Maguire's on one side, there's a door, and the family's on the other side.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like they had all these posters and they just kept recycling them.
Yeah.
Greg Malins wrote a total of 11 episodes. He was story editor and teleplay credits for others. He's currently working on a project right now he wrote, starring Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis.
It's called The 47 Night Stand.
Wow.
I know. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. Sounds like a short relationship.
About Ross and Rachel.
Yeah. That's what it's about.
All right. What was our original air date?
February 8th, 1996.
All right.
I always have trouble now not going 20,
Yeah.
The number one movie that week starred John Travolta and Christian Slater. Joe, can you guess what that was?
Was it Blue Eyes Broken Arrow?
Broken Arrow. Also opening that week was one of Joe's favorites, Beautiful Girls.
Yeah.
Starring Timothy Hutton and little Natalie Portman.
Yeah. It's such an indie movie. Probably nobody's heard of it.
Well, we've pitched it like 4 or 5 times on here, I think.
But we've talked about it because, don't expect it to be this, arcing movie. Not a lot happens.
No, it's just a little.
It's
It's one of those movies they don't make much anymore.
Yeah.
That it's just,
But
people hanging out in the bar most of the time.
The story's good, and Natalie Portman is cutie.
Yeah.
And I just really like it. All right. Are you ready for some trivia?
I am ready.
All right. I have quite a bit of trivia this week. So.
All right. So talk fast.
All right. Aside from the opening scene, Chandler and Joey do not move from their chairs for the entire episode.
Nice. That's a way to keep that part of the theme. That's cool.
That's right. Phoebe calls Chandler and Joey lazy boys for staying in their recliners. Lazy Boy is the brand of the recliner.
Yes.
So
that's why it's
their homage to them. Yeah.
We did not have a good experience at Lazy Boy ourselves.
No, we did not.
That's not really why we're here.
well, we can talk about that at the end. The little story. Phoebe demonstrates her waitressing skills with the phrase "Adam and Eve on a raft" and "wreck 'em." In diner lingo, that means 2 scrambled eggs on toast.
Right.
The set for Richard's office is the same set they use for Barry's orthodontist office.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
In the first season, the only difference is an ophthalmology chair instead of a dental chair. Richard says his parents wanted him to be an optometrist. He says he wanted to be a sheriff.
Yes.
Later in his career, Tom Selleck plays a police commissioner on Blue Bloods.
Yes, I did think of that when he said it.
And I'm not sure it's trivia or a callback, but at the museum when Ross lights up the stars for Rachel, the song Wicked Game by Chris Isaak is played.
Right.
And Chris Isaak played Rob Donen in the one after the Super Bowl part
right.
1, which I thought was really cute.
Yeah, I was wondering if he gave it to him cheap to use because he was already on the show.
Right.
Or if he was like, if you write me into an episode, I could give you the song. For I wonder if there was some kind of little deal worked out along the way somewhere.
All right. What were your episode reactions?
This is fun. I mean, we get our intro to Dr. Burke, Monica, for her first serious relationship.
Yep.
And the chair stuff with the guys is I mean, it is a thing that guys do, so it's making fun of a different thing that happens sometimes. So, I mean, that stuff's fun. And then Ross and Rachel get along. I mean, it's one of the few episodes where they don't ever fight.
Right.
So, I like it.
I agree. It's a cute episode. No fighting, no breaking up. Monica is smitten with Richard.
Oh, yeah.
The boys are pretty lazy. The food delivery gag is a hoot. All in all, it's a cute episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite line.
Favorite line. So what was your favorite line, Joe?
So I say this a lot, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. Even though it doesn't happen that often. You just say it.
I say it. My favorite line's, "You got a Cheeto on your face, man." I just like that line.
Yeah. It's his delivery makes it, I think.
Yeah. What's your favorite line?
I went with one first, and then I changed it the last second to one that suited me more, I thought.
Right.
Which is Joey. "No, inside good, outside bad."
It does sound like you.
I'm borderline agoraphobic. I'm not agoraphobic.
No.
But I understand agoraphobia.
Right. Favorite moments. I just think it's super cute when Richard hands Monica all the eye drops.
Yeah.
And then they kiss each other and she just drops them all. I just think that's really cute.
I like that he grabs these little handfuls. And then it's just huge pile in her little hands.
Right. It's like eye drops. It looks like he has 5 and then it's like 20 in her hands.
Like if he went for 2 full handfuls, she would have dropped half of them on the floor. My favorite moment was when Rachel laughs at Ross when they make out. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's a fun situation
Yeah.
that they created. I enjoy that part.
All right. Favorite outfit. There wasn't a lot because, Chandler and Joey did not change clothes the whole time. Phoebe, I don't know what was going on. Her hair and that Heidi, braid thing. And that one outfit with a skirt and a sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like my grandma. So I went with Rachel's futuristic yellow shirt and shorts outfit.
Yeah. I make a comment about that later.
I said her little, whatever that stuff was on the front, it looks like alien language.
Right.
Looks like your demon seed tattoo.
Right.
So I liked it.
Yeah, I have a tattoo that's based on the artwork for the 9 Inch Nails song Demon Seed.
Right.
So if anybody wants to
Google that.
Google Demon Seed and 9 Inch Nails, it'll come up. I went with, I thought there was a couple, Monica looks cute in just her little black dress she has on her one part.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's a couple, but I picked Rachel's second date outfit.
Mm-hmm.
It's all black and a weird jacket and boots, and it looks like she's going to carry out a hit on somebody. She looks like she could play Mr. Pink in my version of All Women Reservoir Dogs.
All right, themes we explored this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Theme 1, first dates.
First dates. Theme 2, how lazy is too lazy.
Theme 3, dating someone whose pool you once peed in.
Yikes. And theme 4, why is that laser not cutting through that paint? Well, you see, Mr. Scientist, they use mirrors to redirect lasers, so a high gloss finish would be nice.
All right. We're going to take a quick break before we break down the episode.
Yes.
Caitlin's Pizza, how can I help you?
2 larges, extra cheese on both. But listen, don't ring the buzzer for 19. Ring 20. Geller Green, they'll let you in, okay? If you buzz our door, there's no tip for you. Okay, thanks. Pizza's on the way. Told you we wouldn't have to get up.
What if we have to pee?
I'll cancel the sodas. All right, we're back.
We're back. So we're at the cold open. We're at Joey and Chandler's. Joey and Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
Joey leads Chandler in with his eyes covered, and Joey implores him several times not to peek.
I said no peeking.
Chandler says, "Okay, but you better be wearing clothes when I open my eyes."
Yikes, has he ever done that?
Oh, I don't know. That's gross. Joey says, "Okay, open your eyes." Chan says, "Sweet mother of all that is good and pure." And Joey jumps up and down and says, "Days of Our Lives picked up my option."
Aw.
Chandler joins in and jumping up and down and congratulates him. And Joey points at the TV and Chandler says, "Now we can finally watch Green Acres how it was meant to be seen."
Aw. My dad watched Green Acres all the time. I think that's one of the reasons I'm so weird now.
I didn't watch Green Acres until I met you, which is why it took my weirdness a while to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom and dad didn't get cable until after I moved out. How mean is that?
Well, they couldn't afford it with all you children in the house.
All right, so Chandler says, "So which one is mine?" And Joey says, "Whichever one you want, man. Whichever one you want." Not that one. He takes the one furthest away from the bathroom. They sit down and both groan. Chan says, "Do we dare?"
We dare.
They recline and groan. They fully recline and groan some more, and then it becomes unsuitable for children the way they groan.
Oh, yeah. Oh. It does feel nice, though.
It does.
The next scene, so we're back at Chandler and Joey's. J-Man and Channy, plus Harmonica, Phoebo, and the Rossitron are there.
Oh, my God. That back.
The boys are in their new chairs watching the new quote-unquote big screen TV. Remember TVs when they would weigh like 300 pounds and the image still sucked on them?
Yeah. I used to remember how it would take like 3 people to move a TV, and now I ask you if you want to move the 65-inch and you need help. Nah, I'm good.
No, I just grab it and lift it up. So they're trying to watch the Dick Van Dyke Show, and Phoebe complains that 2 cows died so they could put their feet up. Chandler explains that they were chair-shaped cows, and they would have never survived in the wild. Yeah, that would make it hard. Ross remarks that the TV is amazing. Dick Van Dyke is practically life-sized. And then Rosemarie, if anyone had watched the Dick Van Dyke Show, her face pops up on the screen and they all jump. And Monica jokes that she belongs on a smaller screen. What do you think of Rosemarie in ultra high def?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so this is when Rachel comes in your favorite outfit.
Yeah.
And I think she looks like an anime character.
Okay.
And she greets everyone before rudely walking in front of the TV to lip smack her new boyfriend. And the boys grunt to get out of the way of the TV. And I think the joke is that, the boys are just not interested.
Right.
But like I said to you, if our kids got up and started having a conversation right in front of the TV, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? So they're sitting there kissing and the boys are grunting, hey, hey, whoa. So the lovers move aside and they tell of their days and they like, we're in love. So it's sun shining and birds chirping and rose-tinted glasses of love or Disney movie cartoon. And Phoebe butts in with a,
cool, mine too.
and then Ross gets a page on his pager. A museum problem. He asks Rachel if he will see her tonight. She will. Then they almost kiss, but they're in an apartment filled with onlookers, so Ross kisses her on top of the head. And they were just kissing in front of the TV 2 seconds ago.
It's weird.
But Monica and Rachel meet in front of the TV this time. Monica asking, tonight? Hey! Whoa, hey! And they move. And Monica asks again, what's tonight? And Phoebe starts to tail them. She gets up out of her chair and is like, I need to listen to the girly conversation. Rachel explains that it's their first official date. Our first date. Mon looks at her and says, hello. And she goes, hi. And Monica reminds her that she's supposed to waitress for her catering thing tonight. Rachel is so bad at waitressing, she forgot she was supposed to waitress. They start arguing, but Phoebe interrupts them, saying she can be a waitress, at least as good as Rachel.
Right.
I mean, that's a low bar to get over.
For sure.
But Monica isn't sure Phoebe is ready to carry food toward people. And then adds, this can't be like your I can be a bear cub thing. And Phoebe illustrates her waitressing acumen. Give me 2 number 1s, 86 of bacon, 1 Adam and Eve on a raft and wreck 'em. La 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 la. But I hope the catering gig is at Mel's Diner. Why would that help her out?
Yeah, she's not taking orders. It's a
Right.
catering. She's passing food trays around.
Mel's Diner. Jeepers. That's an old reference. The Dick Van Dyke Show in Green Acres has thrown me all off.
We need to have some more of this century references.
Right.
All right, so now we're at Richard Burke's apartment. Tuxman is there, Tom Selleck. So Tom Selleck gets lots of cheers from the crowd as he opens the servants' entrance.
Right, a lot of people going, I didn't know Tom Selleck was going to be on this.
Right, so they recognize him. So Phoebe looks like Heidi for some reason. I mean, her hair's all up,
Right.
and it's really weird.
It's as close that she could get as a black and white waitressing outfit.
So Tom Selleck looks like James Bond. Rumor has it is this joke is in there because there was a teeny weeny chance that he could have been James Bond at some point.
Oh.
But they came to their senses and went in a
Right.
different direction.
Right.
And then Adam told me about how he auditioned for Indiana Jones. For those of you that didn't know that,
Yeah.
he did audition, but he was too Tom Selleck-y, like
Yeah.
Richard Burke, and And now I can't think of anybody but Harrison Ford.
Well,
so.
no. I mean, Harrison Ford made Indiana
Right.
Jones, but...
And no offense to Tom Selleck.
No.
I mean, he's a good actor, and
Yeah.
I like him, but, I mean, Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones, and James Bond is British. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, he could not have been James Bond unless they thought for a second, let's make an American
Yeah,
James Bond
no.
movie, which just sounds like a bad idea.
Right. So Monica apologizes for their tardiness. And why is her hair in a scrunchie? She looks like she just like rolled out of bed. It's like, make an effort.
She was getting her food already.
All right. That's true. All right. Anywho, Richard asks if Monica Geller is coming. And she says, Dr. Burke, it's me.
Monica?
And then he goes, my God, you used to be so... I mean, you must have lost like...
Oof.
You look great. So Mon introduces Phoebe, who giggles. And he asks how she's been. And she says she's been great. And asks how he's been. And he says, oh, you must have heard Barbara and I split up. Otherwise, you wouldn't have done the head tilt.
Right.
Mon says, head tilt? And he goes, yeah, since the divorce, everyone asks me how I am with a sympathetic head tilt. And I answer with the, I'm okay head bob.
Right.
Which I really do like that. I think it's a really funny thing.
I do think it's really funny, but I feel like they do something similar with Bruce Willis later.
Oh,
he
yes,
does they do a
yes.
similar thing with him.
Exactly, they do.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that, but they do. Because
Yeah.
they're like, aw.
Yeah, you don't have to do that every
Yeah.
time.
So they laugh, and he says he has to set up the music, although the divorce only left him with 4 CDs.
Oh.
The girls tilt their heads and go, oh, that's too bad. He head bobs back. I'll survive.
So then we're at Chandler and Joey's, and they're there.
Right?
And they're still they're watching some b-ball on the boob tube. And Chandler is ordering pizzas, and he tells them not to ring the buzzer for 19. Ring across the hall at 20 Geller Green. They'll let you in because he does not want to get up.
That's crazy.
And Chandler hangs up and informs Joey that there's pizzas on the way. And he told him they wouldn't have to get up. And Joey asks, what if I have to pee? And Chandler rejoinders with, I'll cancel the sodas. And Joey points at him like smart. But we heard the order. He didn't order any sodas.
No.
Do they have more sodas coming from another place?
And then before we started recording, you and I talked about being lazy, where we've been lazy.
Right.
Like, we've not gone anywhere for, like, 2 days.
Right.
And we've ordered food in, but we didn't sit nonstop.
Right.
Like,
We still got up and go to the bathroom and let the dogs out.
Right.
Prepare food and things.
I don't think I could
It's like the ball thing. They
Yeah.
were going to see how long they could do it.
Right,
See how
I
long
see.
they could make it
Okay.
last.
All right, so we're back at Richard Burke's apartment with Richard and Monica. Richard is helping prep the food, and Monica is scolding him to get back out there because it's his party. And he says, they're so dull. They're all ophthalmologists. And she says, you're an ophthalmologist?
Yeah.
And he snipes back and says, only because my parents wanted me to be. I wanted to be a sheriff. Phoebe comes into the kitchen faking a laugh. I get it. Cadillac, cataract, funny. No, you stay out there. Richard says, see? And she says, okay, I'll tell you what. You go out there, and in 5 minutes, I'll come get you with some kebab emergency. He reluctantly agrees, and he says, want to see them go nuts? He grabs 2 wine glasses, opens the door, and says, who needs glasses?
Aw,
The crowd goes wild.
that's so funny.
I know.
Because of glasses.
Monica cracks up, and Phoebe teases that she is such the smitten kitten.
That's a cute little
It
phrase. I like that.
Smitten kitten. And tells her that she should ask him out. And Mon says, Dr. Burke? I don't think so. He's a grown-up. He's a friend of my parents. He's like 20 years older than me. So Phoebe says, so you're never going to see him again? No, not never. I'm going to see him tomorrow at my eye appointment. So did she make this before she went over to his house? Or did he call his office and squeeze her in?
Yeah,
or,
I think he just
like-
squeezed her in. They were talking at some point.
Okay.
And he wrote it on a notepad.
So Phoebes point out that she had just had her eyes checked. But
No.
Mon says 27 is a very dangerous eye. There's a cut line. Richard comes back in the kitchen and says, help! They're picking teams to play Guess My Prescription. Help me!
Okay, so then we're at Monica and Rachel's place. And Ross and Rachel are there.
Oh, Oh.
So they are coming from a picture show, and Rachel is complaining that the movie was hard to follow. And Ross warned her that there were subtitles. Remember when we went to Blockbuster and that guy asked us if we spoke foreign when we rented a foreign film?
Oh my God. It was like the dumbest thing. And it would have been okay if it was like a teenager, but this was an adult man.
Do you speak foreign?
And he goes, do you like foreign films? And we were like, yeah. And he goes, do you speak foreign? And I was like, what? I fully expected banjos to start playing at some point.
Rachel admits that she didn't want to wear glasses on the first date. Wait, is she a bad waitress because she never wears the glasses?
Wait, do we ever see Rachel wear glasses in the entire series?
I don't think so.
I don't think she wears glasses. And they never allude to her wearing contacts, so
No.
I don't know why this line is in here.
Very weird. Then they kind of lean, staring into each other's eyes. Who knows if she can see him or not? I mean, she doesn't have her glasses on. But they look like they're about to kiss, and then they start kissing. And mid-kiss, Rachel yells,
Monica!
and Ross breaks this kiss, saying, it would really help if when I'm kissing, you didn't shout out my sister's name.
That was almost my favorite line.
That was almost my favorite line. That was the one I kicked out for the other one.
Aw.
But Rachel was checking to make sure they were alone. And they do a quick grid search and excited to find themselves all by themselves. They slow walk toward one another, tentatively embrace, and they begin to kiss. Slowly at first, Rachel moves her hands up into his hair as he slides his hand down her back. Then he begins to caress her sweet ass, and she giggles.
Hey.
Sweet, sweet ass.
That's from The Simpsons.
That's from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I'm not just a disgusting person. It's both I'm disgusting and it's from The Simpsons. But he moves his hands away and breaks the kiss as her laughing increases. And she has to cover her face. And he asks, what? And she apologizes and explains that when he moved his hands to her butt, it was like, whoa, Ross's hands are on my butt. And Ross is like, why is that funny? But I get it. I mean, if Ross groped my ass, I probably wouldn't be mad. I would just slur a laugh at him. But Rachel says, it's not you, it's me. And she thinks she's just nervous. And she goes through the same thing with Joey later. Yeah. So I like to think she does this with every relationship ever. We just don't always see the first kiss. But that would be a funny thing if the first time she made out with somebody, she laughed.
Although we saw her make out with Paulo and she didn't laugh.
It still works in my brain.
Okay.
But she explains to him they're her and him, and they're crossing that divide into, from friendship into more, right? It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And Ross knew it was a big deal. He just didn't know it was ha-ha big.
Yeah, we don't know if it's ha-ha big yet. We haven't seen it.
Oh. Joe is also a disgusting person.
Yeah, that's from The Simpsons.
No, it's not.
Nope.
Rachel waves him in, and they start kissing, and more giggles. If this were reversed, if Ross was giggling, they would be broken up by now.
Yeah, she'd be like, forget it.
But Ross, in a firm tone now, says, my hands were nowhere near your butt.
I know.
And she's thinking about when they were there the last time. So Rachel kind of runs around and does this shake off like a stressed out dog.
Good shake off.
And she promises not to laugh anymore. And then she tells him, put his hands back. Now Ross can't. He's too self-conscious.
Just one cheek.
The moment's gone, he tells her. She tells him to put his hands out and she'll back into them. That's romantic. Squeeze it.
No.
Rub it.
No.
Oh, come on. Would you just grab my ass? And it fades into a New York cityscape of 1996. And every man in America is shaking their heads in disappointment at Ross.
I read somewhere in the Nick at Night version that they play on TV.
Yeah.
They cut out the grab my ass part. They didn't think it was appropriate. So, where she goes, just grab my ass.
We have to clean it up. We'll leave all the porn talk in there.
Where she's like, would you just grab my ass? All right. So we're back at Chandler and Joey's. And guess what?
What?
They're still there in their chairs.
Oh, man.
We open to the car paint commercial. I used to hate those infomercial things. You'd
Yeah.
be watching something, and then this extra long commercial would start, and you'd
Right.
be like, wait, is this part of the thing I was watching? And then you have to debate whether or not you want to watch this
Right.
extra long commercial to go back to your program.
Well, at least finally they started making them a half hour long.
Yeah.
So you could just
be like,
ignore
I'm
them
gonna
if you
come
wanted
back.
to.
Yeah. So Joey is impressed by the car being on fire and not harming the paint and turns to Chan.
You got a Cheeto on your face, man.
So Ross comes in and Joey asks why he's there. Isn't he supposed to be on a date with Rach? And Ross informs him that was 14 hours ago.
I like the disgust in his voice. That was 14 hours ago.
And there was a cut line on the DVD where Joey goes, whoa, we got to change the clock on this thing.
Oh, their new VCR is just flashing.
Also, they've been sitting in those chairs for 14 hours and they still have their shoes on.
Right. And
jeans.
Yeah.
We would have had jammy pants on for sure.
Right.
I would not have had socks on, and you
No.
definitely would not have had your shoes on.
Plus, Joey does that thing that I can never do. He always wears jeans with no belt.
Yeah.
He's always got stuff tucked in and no belt.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't,
weird.
just visually, I can't do that.
So Chan asks how it went, and Ross says, and asks if they've ever been fooling around with a girl, and she laughed. Chandler says, yeah, but it was because his 1982 Flock of Seagulls hairdo was tickling her chin.
Aw, I was 9.
Joey says, she laughed at you? And she says it in such a way like
Right.
he's about to send Sonny from Godfather over
Right.
to her house.
Well, it's weird that I mean, it's one of those
Right.
things where you're like, really?
Yeah,
You started making out and you got laughed at? That's not a good sign, man.
So there is another cut line where Ross says, it could have been worse. I could have been naked.
That would have been worse.
So Ross says he wanted this ever since 9th grade typing class. Very oddly specific.
That was the only thing they had together.
Apparently.
Like, we only had that one class together.
Elementary problems and statistics with Mr. Railsback. If you're
Yes.
out there, Mr. Railsback, kudos.
Kudos. One time you were really bad about something. And you were like, fuck it, I don't even fucking care. And he looked like, oh.
Whoa.
This is somebody who usually doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Drop an F-bomb repeatedly in class. Like he didn't know what to do.
I was a straight A student, and Mr. Railsback was a young math teacher, and he looked at me like, I'm not going to say anything, but if you keep it up,
Right.
I'm going to have to say something. And I just kind of looked at him like, I'm not going to say anything else. You can continue. I was really mad.
You were really mad.
All right. So he says he wants it to be perfect and right. And why isn't that laser beam cutting through the paint? It's the miracle wax.
Certainly is a miracle.
So Rachel comes in and she and Ross start whispering at the counter. And Chandler says, can't hear you guys. Speak up. It's harder to hear when you lower your voice.
I do like that one too.
It's funny. So cuts to the hallway where Rachel apologizes and says she wants to make it up to him. And he says, no, that's okay. How? And she says in a soft voice, a romantic dinner, candles, wine, and then back to my place for dessert. Ross says, that sounds perfect. Thud. Ross opens the door and Chandler asks him to get them a couple of beers.
Can you
And
get
you
us a
see
couple beers?
Joey's thumb up
Yeah.
over top of the recliner.
Come on, man. So then we're at Dr. Burke's eye lab place.
The doctor's office.
Yeah. And Richard and Monica are there.
Mm-hmm.
And the doc turns off the lights and tells Monica that he's going to look in her eyes now. And this is where we get like when we're watching it this last time on the DVD,
Yeah.
we see the boom mic like 3 times in the episode. Like it's the guy's first day or something.
His arm got tired.
But yeah, all kinds of boom mics. I don't know if it's just the DVD or both. But
I don't know. I didn't see it when I was watching it.
But he's going through the eye exam with Monica, and he's like, look down, and, and I like how she closes her eyes, because they're all close. And he's like, no, open your eyes and look down. Look into your light, head to the light, all are welcome. Oh, wait, that Poltergeist. Now look
all are welcome.
now look at me, and they look at each other, and they look at each other in a way no eye doctor has ever looked at me.
Oh, are you not supposed to look at your eye doctor like that?
What?
I had LASIK. I don't go to the eye doctor.
But, like sometimes when they're really close, you're like, oh.
This is too
Yeah,
intimate.
I don't like being this close. But he says, okay, your eyes are good. She says that they feel good in my head. And they start to say goodbye. And this time they stand up and they look at each other. And he just goes, drops!
What?
Drops, here, they're free. And he gives her a big handful of drops. And like I said, the hand difference size is amazing between the two of them. But they start to say goodbye again, and he kisses her on the cheek because her hands are full. She can't shake his hand. Mm-hmm. And then she kisses his cheek. And Monica, despite making out with a friend of her father's, does not start to giggle. You think if anybody would start giggling.
Oh, but that's my favorite moment when she drops all the eye drops. It's so cute. All right, so we're back at Chandler and Joey's. So Chandler, Joey, and Phoebe. Mm-hmm. We open on the boys, still in their chairs. Finally, Chandler's shoes are off.
Right. And they're watching the old giant ant movie, Them.
Okay.
Exclamation point. And the guy that has the flamethrower in the scene is James Whitmore, who played Brooks Hadlin in Shawshank Redemption.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So Phoebe says, we've got to get you lazy boys out of these chairs. They do the, whoa. And she moves from in front of the TV. She says they've got to get outside in front of the three-dimensional people. Joey says your favorite line.
Yeah.
Inside good, outside bad. And then goes, ooh, Xanadu.
Oh.
So Xanadu was a 1980 movie starring Olivia Newton-John and Gene Kelly. I had no idea it had Gene Kelly in it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got the wackiest plot I ever read.
Yeah.
It's really, I almost put it in here, but it was so wacky it would not make sense to anybody. So Chandler says she's one of us now.
Oh.
Like they chant in Freaks, which was made in 1932. One of us. Google gobble. One of us.
That was fun.
So Ross and Rachel walk in and
Freaks,
say...
not a movie for general Friends fans.
No. Yeah, no. So Ross and Rachel walk in and they say they want to say goodnight to them and they don't turn in to acknowledge them, but say goodnight. Rach says, all right, guys, I'm taking off my shirt. And Joey has a dental mirror for some reason.
He was doing his flossing in the chair.
Oh, gross. And he holds it up. Nah, she's lying.
She's lying.
So Monica bursts in with a box of food, scolding the boys. Stop sending food to our apartment!
And when you stop bringing it, we'll stop doing it.
We're going on, 72 hours now?
Yeah.
Jeez. So Ross asks Monica why she's all dressed up. I'm not sure my brothers, one, would have noticed that I was dressed up, or two, would have asked.
Right, but Ross hangs out with her almost every day.
That's true. So Phoebe teases that he is not the only one who has a date tonight. Ooh. And Ross gets excited and says, you have a date? Who with? Monica says, no one.
Come on, what's his name?
Nothing. Come on, tell me. All right, but I'm very excited about this. So promise you won't get all big brothery and judgmental. He laughs and promises. It's Richard Burke.
Who's Richard Burke?
Dr. Burke?
I like that he's like, who the fuck are you talking about?
So he goes, Dr. Burke, you have a date with Dr. Burke? Why would I get... Why would that bother me? I love that man. He's like a brother to Dad. Oh. And then there's a cut line on the DVD. Monica goes, here we go. And he goes, he's like 50 and will be an inspiration to men who were almost retired all over the world.
Ooh, zing.
So Monica points out that he happens to be one of the brightest, most sophisticated, and sexiest man I've ever been with. And Ross says, Dr. Burke is sexy? And Phoebe and Rachel go, oh God, absolutely, in unison. Ross gets beeped again with a museum emergency. I have quotation marks.
Right.
And grabs the phone. Monica walks into the kitchen and Rachel tells her how Dr. Burke kissed her once.
Oh.
When she was 7, she crashed her bike right outside his house, and to stop her from crying, he kissed her on the tip of her nose. Phoebe says, oh, you're so lucky. Ross starts yelling into the phone. Whoa. Australopithecus is not supposed to be in that display. Homo habilis was a wreck. Australopithecus was never fully erect. Chandler quips, maybe he was nervous.
Okay, so now we're at the Natural History Museum, Ross and Rachel. Mm-hmm. We pan over from a Triceratops mama and baby. And Ross is complaining that Homo habilis hasn't even learned to use tools. Why do they have clay pots? Why not just give them a microwave?
And there was a cut line on the DVD, and Rachel says, well, clearly, honey, he'd have no place to plug it in.
And Ross reacts
Like Ross, yeah.
right, like she would if he was joking about skirts in her office.
He does not think it's funny.
But Homo habilis did use simple stone tools, but yeah, clay pots kind of out of their jam. But Rachel looks pretty bored. And I sort of want to go to our Natural History Museum and ask how many late night emergencies the doctors have there. Because Ross seems to have a lot.
He does.
But it seems like one of those things where you pretty much stick to your regular schedule.
If it was supposed to open tomorrow and it wasn't finished, you think they would just keep a curtain up and say, display
Right.
not finished yet.
Right. But Ross apologizes that it's taking so long. Maybe stopping to bitch is wasting time. I don't know. And then he yells, "Carl!" and takes off. While he's gone, Rachel sneaks a peek under Homo habilis' loincloth and seems impressed by what she sees.
Ooh, it's anatomically correct.
No.
All right, now we're at Monica's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Monica and Rachel, sorry. And Richard and Monica are there.
Yeah.
So Richard and Monica are on the couch, and he has his wallet out showing her photos.
Wow.
This is pre-cell phone, people. Remember? We used to carry photos in our wallets.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we printed them out, carried them around in our wallets. Mostly men.
Especially older guys.
Yeah, older guys had these little like photo sleeves that you could buy. My dad used to have like 2 or 3 of them because he'd add pictures every year. So Monica asks, "Is that Michelle?" Which is his daughter. And he says, "Yep." Monica says she has not seen her since high school graduation. And she continues, "That night she got so drunk, emotional."
Yeah.
Good cover, man. I'm sure he can't get mad that his 27-year-old daughter got drunk 10 years ago.
Right. You were drunk during graduation?
So Richard says she's having another baby. And Mom says, "Didn't she just have one?" And he says, No, Henry's almost 2. He's talking and everything. And Henry said he liked him better than his other drunk grandpa.
Easy win.
"So you're a grandpa," Monica says. "Yeah. Are we nuts here?" And Monica says maybe she's dating a man whose pool she once peed in. Ew. And Richard said, "I didn't need to know that."
Yeah, I personally, whatever makes you happy relationship-wise. You know, I don't really care about big age gaps, provided everyone's an adult.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I need to
do
add that.
need that, yeah.
But I think dating a friend's daughter that you knew as a child is a
Yeah.
bit weird.
It is weird.
I mean, they always have these weird relationships and friends, but then they have somebody like Tom Selleck just play it straight.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't come off pervy.
No,
he doesn't
he's
come
not
off
creepy.
He just is playing a regular guy.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they build him up as a character. Like, he married his high school
Right.
sweetheart. She's the only person he's ever been with.
Right, like they make it the nicest possible scenario.
Yeah. So he's not a player, you know.
But then they put in those creepy little things that you're kind of like, wait,
It's so
I guess
weird.
it's all right. I
Right.
don't know.
All I can say is thank Jeebus that I'm not a grandma.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think I could take it. So
Yet.
Richard says, don't say that. Richard says 21 years is a lot. And he's a whole person who can drink older than her.
Right, he went to that kid's birthday, and Monica was born the next day.
So they decide it's weird and they walk to the door. But they say it sucks and they hug. And then they get to kissing. And then they decide they don't have to decide tonight.
Right.
And then the pizza delivery guy knocks and Monica stops kissing and says, "I'm going to kill those guys."
Which is a fun into the scene.
I do. Like, it's sweet and cute.
Right.
And...
So then we're back at the Natural History Museum, Ross and Rachel. So Ross comes back, and Rachel was grooming the Homo habilis guy. He's done. And Rachel informs him that so is Sorrentino's, you know, where they're going to go eat. And
yeah.
Ross suggests finding another place to eat. I would be getting grumpy
For
at
sure.
this point
Yeah.
if I hadn't eaten dinner yet. Ross has the idea, and grabs that fur thing off the ground and says, come on. And Rachel asks, that's dead, right? It's a museum, not a zoo. Rachel's probably like, well, what difference is there? So they got some juice boxes as they head into the planetarium. And Ross puts the fur blanket thing on the floor. And then he turns on the planetarium projector. And Rachel's amazed at all the stars. And Ross sits down next to her. And I like that the voice automatically starts as soon as he's on the ground. Billions of years ago, the earth was born. And Ross jumps back up and turns it off. And he switches it to probably FM and gets a Wicked Game by Chris Isaak.
Yeah. I just think it's funny how he turns off the speaker and it quickly switches to a great romantic song.
Right.
With just the flick of a switch.
Right.
Those switchboards look complicated. And even now, technology, I can't flip a switch and something change automatically.
Well, like I said, they could probably get FM on it. But
for it to start at the beginning of the song.
Start at the beginning of the song with some good timing. You're like, it's supposed to be raining this evening during our baseball game. But Ross sits back down. Rachel asks what the stars are. And Ross bluffs Ursa Major. And then is like, I don't know. I'm not an astronomer. But it kind of annoys me that they're just spinning stars. I think that, especially the shot from behind them was probably just green screen.
Yeah.
So when he's going blah, blah, blah. But I'd be mad if I was doing that constellation's Ursa Minor.
Right.
And then they just had on the screensaver of lights. They're like, I look like a fucking idiot.
It looks like a disco ball, not a planetarium of stars.
He says sorry for needing to work again. And then she says that it was worth the wait and not just tonight. Aww. And then they kiss and Ross points out that she isn't laughing, and this time it's not so funny. Ooh. More kissing with undressing, and she gets his tie stuck in his mouth, and he's like, "Gonna do the thing." And then there's more kissing, and they kind of roll over, and then there's a squirt noise, which I think is funny. It's a. And Rachel tells him, that's okay. It's not a big deal. It happens to everyone. And he's like, no. You just rolled on the juice box. So I just want to be clear.
No, please don't.
Rachel thought that Ross totally
Adam, that is the worst way to put that. You're cutting that out.
Fine. I just don't know why they cut the grab my ass off the Nick and Night show when they're going to have a early ejaculation joke 10 minutes later. But Rachel thanks God that Ross didn't
Adam!
and they kiss more. And the camera pans up to the quote-unquote stars while we listen to Wicked Game. And we fade back into Ross and Rachel asleep over by Homo habilis. How many displays and fossils do you think they did it on? Including the planetarium, I'm guessing 5.
But the condoms are at home in the bathroom apartment.
Good point. They're under more fur blankets, waking up, and they kiss a little. And Rachel cannot believe that she's waking up next to Ross. And he goes to express that same sentiment, but he looks up to see a priest, a nun, and a group of Catholic children staring at them. And he goes, we're not alone. And then covers up. I think it's weird that the priest is not trying to move the kids along. I'll just leave it at that.
I think it's weird that he doesn't get fired for that, but gets fired at yelling at someone who actually ate his sandwich.
Right. You can do whatever you want all up in here. Right. But I'll eat whatever's in the fridge.
All right. Then we come to the tag. It's Chandler and Joey. They're still in the chairs. We open on Beavis and Butthead, which was an animated show that started in 1993. It was played on MTV, created by Mike Judge, about a pair of teenage slackers characterized by their apathy, lack of intelligence, and lowbrow humor. much like the lazy boys in this episode. This show often made me roll my eyes.
Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah.
I like Beavis and Butthead. I liked when they used to make fun of videos.
Yeah.
Once they started getting their own show, and it became a little tedious.
So it started out, Beavis and Butthead used to make fun of music videos.
Yeah.
And that was okay. But then when they had...
Back when on MTV they played music videos.
But then they had like an animated series, and then it just got...
Yeah.
And the boys are laughing, and they hear the fire alarm go off. Mm-hmm. And Chandler reaches down and feels the floor and says, "That's not warm yet. We still have time."
Cool.
Well, that's the end of the episode.
That's the end. Cut and print.
All right. We're going to take another short break. We'll be right back.
Oh, boy. Mon, why are you all dressed up?
You're not the only one who has a date tonight.
What? You have a date? Who with?
No one.
Come on. What's his name?
Nothing.
Come on. Tell me.
All right. But I'm very excited about this, okay? So you got to promise you won't get all big brothery and judgmental.
Okay, I promise. What?
It's Richard Burke.
Who's Richard Burke? Dr. Burke? You have a date with Dr. Burke? Why? Why should that bother me? I love that man. He's like a brother to Dad.
For your information, he happens to be one of the brightest, most sophisticated, and sexiest man I've ever been with.
Dr. Burke is sexy.
Oh,
sexy.
Absolutely. All right, we're back.
We're back.
Yay.
So, Joe, what did we learn from this episode?
I found it funny that Monica doubted Phoebe's waitressing skills compared to Rachel's.
Right. Again, Rachel sets that bar fairly low.
Right. So it'd have been like, you can hold a plate and walk it over to this person.
Right.
What did you learn?
I learned that sometimes people have sex in the Natural History Museum. And at my age, if I was smarter, more successful, a doctor, and better looking, I could get with a 27-year-old Twinkie in the city.
Hey!
But I'm not those things, so you don't have to worry about it.
What are your final thoughts for the episode?
I wonder if we can get our neighbors to bring our food deliveries over.
I don't know. They bring our Amazon packages over all the time. All right. I bet Joey and Chandler smelled really gross after this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweater vest tracker!
Yay! Well, Chandler did not move the entire time.
No, he did not.
So I'm saying there's no sweater vest this
There were
episode.
no sweater vests. So the overall count for season 2 is 2.
All right.
So we're equal with the season number. So that's good.
I think we're more close to my 6 than we are your 10. But
so do you think this will be the lowest sweater vest count?
Possibly.
Would be season 2?
And the season that he doesn't work as much.
Right.
Remember? Because there's
like 10 or 9 or something?
Yeah, he doesn't work very much. So, all right. So what is our rating for this episode?
Okay, so the IMDb rating for this episode is 8.5 out of 10 stars with 5,600 ratings.
So people were real excited for them to get together, but they didn't care about their first dates.
Yeah.
All right, so I picked a review that was 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. The title is Ages Amazingly Well.
Okay.
It was written by Sue Woods, 990698398. I thought that may be your phone number.
Yeah, I thought so for a second, too.
And she wrote it in February 2020. Mm-hmm. I watched this in my late 20s, so I'm biased, for sure. Mm-hmm. But rewatching now, it is still funny, and a lot is happening in this episode. 2 new romances, one from within the group, and the other with Tom Selleck, 3 exclamation points.
Ooh.
They're all really good actors, exclamation point. Their friendship is off camera definitely helped with that. And they're all young and beautiful with a little smiley, winky face. I'm surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
They're all young and beautiful. Just watching them on the screen, I'm like, yeah. Julie and those tomatoes.
All right, what are we doing next week?
Next week is the one where Joey moves out.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So tell us what the episode's about.
Rachel and Phoebe go get some tats.
All right.
Monica's concerned her parents will find out that she's a Twinkie. And Joey thinks he's ready for financial independence.
Oh, when is ours going to be ready for financial independence?
Not at 27. Technically, Joey's not ready either. So.
That's true. That's true. All right. Are you ready for some maladjusted content?
I am. What do we do?
What did we do?
Oh, wait. At the beginning of the episode, we were going to talk about the Lazy Boys.
Oh, the Lazy Boy
Boy
story. Yeah. So we went to buy a sectional for our family room.
We went to buy a sectional for the living room because we are going to put it in the living room.
Oh, yeah.
And we are going to get a couch for the family room.
Right.
But we want a sectional for the living room
right.
because we didn't have anything.
Right.
And
we just moved into our new house.
Yeah.
Right.
So we went to Lazy Boy and
we wanted recliners on the ends.
Right. So we got a sectional with 90-degree corner
yep.
and it was the same length on both sides.
Right.
And it had a recliner on both ends. Of the couch.
Yep. Uh-huh.
That's what we wanted.
And then I picked out this really bright teal
right.
fabric because I like bright colors.
Right. We
was
like
soft.
color.
Yeah. Paid for everything. Everything
right.
was great. And it was not cheap. It was a nice chunk of change.
And it was also during COVID.
Right.
So it took...
Forever.
Yeah. It took like 9 months.
Yeah.
For this couch to even come in.
So took forever.
So I have... The day they delivered it, I have the living room cleared out.
Yeah.
And they delivered it. And so instead of making the corner piece...
That makes it a sectional, it was an armchair.
It was an armchair. So we have 2 couches with no ends on one end.
Right.
In an armchair. So
which
we're like...
doesn't make a sectional.
So we called and we're like, you need to make the middle thing.
So they were like, no problem.
Right.
We'll take the armchair back. No cost to you. We'll make the middle section and we'll get it out to you. And then we're like, great. So
next day they call us.
And they go, that fabric has been discontinued. So you can pick out a different fabric to make the middle section. So I would have one teal couch. The middle section would be a different fabric. And then another couch. Now, I'm eclectic in my decorations, but that just pissed me off. So I said, no. And I was like, come get this couch. And they were like, no.
You can't return it because you picked out a special fabric.
And we already upholstered it. And you've had it in your house for 2 weeks or 2 days.
Right.
So we can't take it back. And we're like, you're going to take it back or you're going to give me my money back. And so for like 2 weeks, I finally went all the way up to the head of Lazy Boy.
But they didn't take off anything.
They ended up giving us the money back for
the part they fucked up.
Right.
Nothing else. No other discount.
No.
No other savings. So instead of having it in the living room, we had to move it into the family room.
And push the 2 long pieces together.
Now we have this super long couch in our family room.
It's like 90 feet long. Everyone calls it the big ass couch.
My niece was over eating food one day. She wanted to spend the night. And she had her mouth half full. And we were like, you can't spend the night. We don't have any more beds. And she was just like, I can sleep on that long couch over there. But they would not acknowledge that they messed up.
Nope.
They would not acknowledge that we were in a screwed up position.
All right, Adam's getting all messed. He will never go to Lazy Boy again.
No,
just so you know.
They had zero customer service. You talked to the salesman.
Yeah, it was so bad. But what else did we do this week?
What else did we do?
What did we watch? We watched in the living room. Oh, we watched a lot of riff tracks, too.
Yeah, we watched some riff tracks movies.
Those were fun.
Those are the guys, if anybody doesn't know, they used to do a show called Mystery Science Theater 3000, in which they would, have robots and a guy making fun of old crappy movies. Yes. Then they kind of transitioned into riff tracks where you just watch the movie and they talk over top of it, making jokes.
And it's funny.
And they're all really bad movies.
Yeah. And they do some recent movies. You can purchase it for $3 and play it along with the movie.
You can buy just the audio.
Yeah.
They have an app for the phone that you can buy the audio of them making jokes and it syncs it up with the movie.
And you can watch current movies.
Right. Well, we watch Cats.
Yeah.
They did Cats. We watched Cats that way. Cats was horrible. So.
It was so bad. Oh, all right.
All right.
Well, thanks, guys, for listening. If you would like your thoughts or reactions regarding future episodes to be shared with the rest of the class, or you just want to reach out and say hey.
We want to hear from more of you misfits out there. It'd be fun.
So email us at themaladjustedmisfits@gmail.com. Rate us and leave positive comments.
Yeah, because we like positive comments. And if you have a negative comment, try to kind of spin it so it sounds positive. Maybe
right.
give us some advice. Like,
Instead of doing that,
do this. Quit trying to get audience members to join, because that's a dumb idea.
Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow the links in the show notes. The pages are called The One Where We Talk About Friends.
Joe, you ready for a cup of coffee?
Always. Oh no, you just rolled over on the juice box.